Okay, let's have a quick look at adding apps to your fan page. Let's click on Edit Page and let's go to Apps, and we can click on Browse More Applications, and it'll bring it up in a moment or two. My system's running slow. Okay, there are hundreds, probably there's actually thousands or tens of thousands of apps available, but there's going to be very few that you actually ever need to use. The one that I do recommend that you join is Networked Blogs. Now, if it's not already appearing on your list, simply type that in the search apps here, type in Networked, if I can spell it right, Networked Blogs. I definitely can't spell today. There we go, Networked Blogs, and click on search and it should bring that up, even though it was already on my list. If it isn't on yours, search on that, click on it and choose like, and again I'll pause while I get this right, and having clicked on like, we can then click on go to app, and it will ask us to authorize or allow the app, and once that's done we can have a play with it. Then we're simply going to be asked if we can follow some of the blogs already in the network. Have a quick look through to see if there are any that are relevant to your niche, but you don't need to. You don't have to actually follow them. If you scroll down to the bottom, there is the next option, so you can just move on from here if you want to. Obviously, if there are something that you're interested in, click on follow. Follow it. Lifehacker's quite good. Huffington Post, I think, is quite good. You can also do a search at the top, so you can actually search on, let's say, blog tech and click on go, and there we go. That's a great blog to follow. Blog Tactics, that's one I'd highly recommend you click on follow. You might know who's the guy behind that one, so click on follow. That's one of my blogs. The important thing here is not what blogs you're following, it's your profile page and setting that up. So let's go and have a look at the profile page. And the main thing we want to do on the profile page, which is this, is grab our description from our home page. So from our basic information, grab that and then come back and click on Edit Profile so we can update this bit here. And I've already copied it, so I'll just paste it in. There we go. I've also added a bit at the bottom. Here's my new blog, and I've got my blog domain name in there. Okay, so I've got that information in there. You can also pop in your email address and then click on Save. And you can add links to your sites here as well. So I'm actually going to repeat this in here. And this is the, I'll pause while I type this. So I've basically just typed in the name of my blog in there, which has my keywords in it, popped in the URL. I've cheekily put it in the About Me as well. You don't necessarily need to do that, but I'd like to double up where I can. Click on Save, and we've basically just set up a new way where we can potentially get traffic back to our blog. So again, we're starting to get these links out there and try and pull people in to visit our blog. And the last thing we want to do is obviously register a blog and actually register our blog in their network. Okay, so I've basically typed in my information, the name of my blog, the URL of my blog, 3 topics, basically main 3 keywords. I've chosen the language and I put in a description. I've also clicked on the advanced link which appears down here. Okay, so click on that and pop in the name of the short form name that you want your blog to be. So I'm going to go with Home Alarm Systems. Okay, in fact, Home Alarm Systems DIY. So again, just to make sure that that matches up with my niche and my keywords rather than letting them choose something for me. So I've just popped that standard information in. You should be familiar with that by now. Very quick and easy to do, and then we click on next. It will check with us to make sure that we're the author of the blog. Just say yes, and then they'll ask us to verify that the blog is ours. The quickest and easiest way is to use the widget, so we'll click on that, and the best one to go is for the Network Blogs one here. So we'll click on Install Widget and scroll down. Here's the code that we want, so highlight that, Control C to copy all, and then we're going to go across to our blog and actually put that in a widget in the sidebar. So here I am on my blog itself, just having a look to decide where I want to put it. I'm going to add it under the Facebook widget there so that it appears above categories and stats and admin and things like that. So all I need to do is log on to the dashboard area, go to Appearance and Widgets, and I can either paste it into the existing text widget here, or I can add a new text widget just to keep it separate and to keep it tidy. And we're going to put a title in, Networked Blogs, and simply paste it in, scroll down, click on Save, minimize that, and if we go back to our blog now and refresh, that should now appear in the sidebar under our Facebook widget. Okay, it's not for some reason. Let me check that. Okay, I've just realized it may not be showing up because we need to verify it first. So I'm going to hit the verify and see if that then makes it appear. Okay, let's see if verify does it. Because it is there, so it should find it. I'll pause while it's actually checking it. Okay, the verification failed for some reason, so what I'm going to do, it's a good example of what to do if it goes wrong. We're going to go for the other badge, which is non-JavaScript, so we're going to grab that instead and highlight it and copy it, and I'm going to go back and change the widget. So we'll just open this up, highlight all of that, delete it, paste the new code, and click on Save. And once that's saved, let's go back to our blog, hit refresh and keep our fingers crossed that it'll appear this time. No, it's still not appearing. That's odd. Okay, I'm still getting verification failed on this, so I'm going to check into this more and I'll come back to the rest of the video once I've worked out what's going wrong. Okay, so I haven't worked out why that's failing for me at the moment. I've used this application and this verification process on many blogs before and not had problems with it. So until I work out what's going wrong, what I'm going to do is simply go back to the previous page and I'll go with Ask Friends to Verify Me instead. And you simply choose your friends and click on Send an author verification request. I'm going to skip it because I've actually already sent them. Just choose 2 or 3 of your friends and send the request, and then you will get through to the next page, which is... Okay, I've just had a couple of errors. It looks like the verification process may be because this app is actually having problems today. So I had a couple of errors and I've come back to the main page. Now, the first time you come here, there should actually be a link here asking you to do the syndication process. Now, the link's up here if it's not. So go to this and it will basically ask you to authorize some permissions. Here we go, grant permissions. So simply click on the button and click allow, and then choose your blog from the drop down list. Basically, we're authorizing network blogs to get our posts on their page. So well worth doing, and we're syndicating our content again, so we're getting another way of getting visitors back to our blog. Okay, and the other thing you do want to do on here before we move on is add these targets. So add Facebook target. What we want to add is our fan page. So we'll click on that. Basically what this is doing is whenever we now do a post on our blog, it will automatically update our fan page. So very, very useful. You can also do the same thing for your group as well if you want to. So I'll click on add and we'll close that down, and we'll do the same thing for Twitter as well, which should now pick up the Authorize app. Remember, you need to make sure that you're logged on to the correct Twitter account first, and that's now picked that up as well, Home Alarm DIY. So we've got more integration going on again thanks to this Networked Blogs app. Whenever a post is posted on our blog, it will appear on our fan page, on our group, and on our Twitter feed. Okay, now the Twitter one, you may not want that there if you've already done the Twitter automation with the WordPress plugin. If you haven't, if you had problems with that, then this is another way of doing it. I wouldn't recommend having both set up because you can end up with dual tweets going on every time you make a blog post. Okay, so choose one way or the other. Okay, let's go back and look at the apps page for some other apps. Okay, let's go back into edit page and back to apps again. Basically, the Networked Blogs app is the most important one for what we're doing. That's the one I highly recommend that you actually set up and use. But there are so many potential apps that you can use. For instance, if you wanted to have some interaction on your fan page with people that visit it, you could get an app that allows you to do surveys. If we do a search on surveys, there are several apps, quite a few apps, that will allow us to actually run surveys. So basically anything you can think of, there's going to be an app for it. And when you get the time, have a play around, look for some other apps that you want to put on your fan page to add extra bits and pieces to it. In a future video, I'll do another list of other ones that I'd recommend, but for the moment, the networked blogs one is the most important. So that's the main one to get on there for the moment. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and please feel free to move on to the next Facebook training video.